Welcome to Corrective Consciousness episode 239, the podcast where we explore the inanity of pop culture. I'm your host, vysethebold, and this is
Lotus Prince.
And we have a lovely show here for you. We are putting together a list of the games. We kind of did like our childhood games already, you know, the games that we grew up with. But I wanted to go with some system sellers or games that you pre-purchased before you ended up going for the console, because we're both kind of crazy in that aspect.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no such thing as a system seller for me. Like, I'm not going to pay $450 to play a single game, but
Sure.
I have absolutely bought games before I owned the system.
Yeah, it's something that I do as well, because I know I will own it in the future. I just don't want to miss out on certain things, or
Exactly.
I don't want to pay top dollar for it.
That's the whole thing. That is paid off in a major way for the PS2 for me.
Or here's another thing is that nowadays it is hard to get some physical copies of some games, well into the lifespan of the system, just because of the way that physical games are produced now. Some of them are only produced for people who want them. Some of them are on very limited releases. You have limited run games, super rare.
PS4
games.
and Switch particularly hurt for stuff like this, because that's the era where the limited print stuff started happening. So, I mean, all these games are readily available digitally, so there is that. But if you insist on physical copies, boy, you better get on it when it happens, or else you miss it.
So I know both you and I already own a PS5 game at least,
good example. Yeah, I got Demon Souls.
Yeah, we both have a copy of Demon Souls, and it is it is an expensive game. It was a $70 game too.
Yeah, one thing I'm pleased about is that I'm probably wrong on this, but it's the only game I've noticed that's $70 that's not some sort of collector's edition.
Yeah.
Like Miles Morales is $70. Oh wait, no, it's actually $50 or $60, but the super version is $70. But Demon Souls is just straight up $70.
Straight up $70. They're really testing people.
I got mine for like 50 something online, so fuck that. But
good for
still.
you. Yeah, good for you. I bought mine for full price, because even now it's kind of hard to get a physical copy of this game. So
yeah, I got mine like on like Mercari or something, where the guy was like, I'm not gonna end up playing this, I need some Christmas money, selling it for $50-something. I was like, done.
Yeah, I'm sure you could find it at GameStop used occasionally, because
that's how I buy like all of my games when I go shopping.
Yeah.
Like, I just head up the used section immediately.
Yeah, so the PS5 obviously doesn't have many console exclusives yet. But this is definitely a game where I could see it being very prevalent, like digitally. Something maybe you may even get free via a PlayStation Plus, since it is it's a Sony title, that kind of thing. But I believe that the physical copy of it won't be around for very long, just because it is a niche market. It is not a Dark Souls game, so it has less appeal because it doesn't have the name of the more popular progeny.
And that's funny to me, because the PS3 Demon Souls was a pretty underground title at the time. It's still like $10, but like Dark Souls is when it really took off, because it was available on every platform.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to miss out on having this game physically. And, who knows? This may even be one of the last generations for physical copies in general. So I didn't want to miss out on it. But that's the only game that I have for PS5 so far. Nothing else has convinced me, because I think everything else will be... Spider-Man will be prevalent. I'm not going to worry about Miles Morales being on the
Yeah,
somewhere.
Oh no, they're all out of copies of the new Ratchet and Clank game. Wait, really?
Yeah, nah. This is usually... we kind of both of us kind of have a way of predicting which titles will be hard to get, and usually it
Well,
involves
it's not like we're such geniuses. It's like AAA
no,
titles that have millions and millions of copies,
yeah.
or not.
It usually revolves around like niche areas.
There are certain things that you might actually need to be on the pulse for, like games that the internet is a buzz about because some otherwise niche thing got popular somewhere, and everyone's going to snatch up this one title that you might not have expected in a vacuum. But for the most part, I'll be able to find more copies of The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, you know?
Well, let's face it.
Kind of, because it's still a single console exclusive. Like, normally, I would say don't worry about it, but PS5 only, though.
Let's face it. There are certain companies that produce things that you could be like, okay, this has a good chance of being rare. So, you have things like that are produced by Nipponichi. For instance, NIS.
Yeah, Atlas. I remember
Atlas.
The name Atlas, like whatever it is.
Atlas is a little bit better nowadays. I mean, they are part of Sega, so.
Well, yeah. Well, now they got the whole Persona thing going on, but like old Persona, oh my god, good luck.
So Nipponichi or Exceed is typically going to be, on the fringe of things in general.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Exceed's whole thing is picking up relatively niche games.
Yeah. So, like, I'm thinking, the last Nipponichi game that came out, I bought right away and would have done so if it was on the PS5, but it was Ys
6.
Ys
Oh,
9.
Ys, yeah.
Ys 9.
Okay.
I buy most of the Ys games physically anyway. But that one in particular, I was like, oh, there's no way I'm missing out on this. It's a late system game, and it's. Also, the Ys games typically come with soundtracks, which are like fantastic. So, I
know it's Nipponichi now and not Exceed, but I will say that Exceed is usually pretty good about throwing in something extra with their titles.
Exactly. So, if you have any interest, you should get the first run or an initial shipping of those titles. But I'm going to go back further to the systems that we used to buy on our own. So, what was the first system that you bought with your own money? Do you remember?
Oh boy. I know that my brother and I contributed to get a GameCube, I believe. But the first system that I personally bought with my own money, all by myself, maybe a PS2?
Okay. So, the GameCube, what games did you initially get with it? Well, that's what I want to know. What
it might have just been the one game.
On
we got the launch game, Luigi's Mansion.
Okay, there you go. So you got it relatively early in its lifespan, huh?
Oh yes. This was at a time where I could have gone either way, GameCube or PS2. I was like, brother, what do you have a preference? It was like GameCube. Like, all right. And at the time, I got a little bitter when I got into high school and college when I saw all the shit that was on PS2, but in retrospect, the GameCube had a lot of stuff that's still never been ported, and a lot of it's harder to get now as well.
So, I had, this was the first system that I bought a game before I owned. What had happened was Wind Waker had come out. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. And the people that reserved the game got a special disc that had Ocarina of Time on it, Ocarina of Time Master Quest.
Yeah, my brother had that, yeah.
And also Majora's Mask wasn't on this one. It was just
no. There were two different special Zelda GameCube discs. One of them had Zelda 1 and 2 and Majora's Mask and maybe Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
And the other had, I think it was Master Quest and maybe a demo for Wind Waker or something.
Yeah, it had vanilla Ocarina of Time and then also Master Quest on it. So
it had both Ocarina of Time. Okay.
Yeah, so and I didn't want to miss out on that special disc because when Nintendo does something special, you pay attention because
not only that, but Master Quest, as far as America is concerned, that's it. Either you have that promo disc or you don't.
Yeah, so I made sure that I got that. I pre-ordered the game and everything because I had heard that, and Actually, one of my friend's brothers was working at GameStop. Older brother was working at GameStop at the time, and he had gotten me the Brady guide to go with it, which is really nice of him.
Totally unauthorized.
No, this wasn't one of those.
This one was authorized. This was what the developers did want you to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I didn't have the money to get the system quite yet, so.
Sure.
I ended up saving my money, and at the time, it was a toss-up between if I wanted a GameCube or an Xbox, an OG Xbox, because up until this point, I really wanted to play Wind Waker, but nothing else on the system had really grabbed me. And until...
Actually, real quick, here's a question about that. Because I know you said that Metroid Prime is one of your favorite games ever. There was a promo disc. I think it might have been Toys R Us exclusive that had Prime 1 and Wind Waker. So did that catch your eye ever?
No, I didn't even know about that at the time.
Yeah, that's very specific. I didn't know about that until years later.
Yeah, but I did buy the system for Metroid Prime. So when that came out, I was like, okay, which one do I buy? And it's like, Metroid Prime, I have to play this. I have to. And also the GameCube was a lot cheaper than the Xbox at the time, the OG
That's
Xbox.
That's true. Yeah.
So the OG Xbox was the first system that I remember being $300. There was stuff before that, like the 3DO, but this was the first major system.
Who did you know who owned a 3DO?
Nobody. I still
it's like
don't
when you
know
go
anybody.
to GDQ. Well, it's like when you go to the Games Done Quick, and now that people are doing it remotely, you can get all sorts of weird shit. Like someone's let's playing or someone's speedrunning Wand of Gamelon. Look, here's me with my CDI at home, and it's like, what? That's the guy who had a CDI.
But yeah, so I had two games and a really well featured bonus disc that had full games on it. When I got my GameCube, I got a black GameCube, by the way. So I was super happy with, and still have to this day. I'm going to outfit it with a GC loader when I can as well. So I was just overjoyed to have those two games, Metroid Prime and Wind Waker. When I had the system all set up, I could play two of the best games for the system and end of all time, if you ask me.
Yeah, those are. Yeah, I mean, the Zelda has since been improved on HD, but that game was next level when it came out.
No, next level was a little bit later with Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3.
Luigi's Mansion
2 and 3.
Plus 3DS and Switch.
Yeah, but that was made by Next Level. That was the joke.
No kidding. I thought you were gonna make a joke about the retro game store you used to live near.
They also made Punch Out, the Wii Punch Out game.
What a freaking brilliant game that is.
And the Super Mario Strikers games as well. So yeah,
those games got weirdly edgy.
Yeah,
but
especially the second one.
Yeah, what was it, Supercharged or whatever it was called?
Yeah.
Do you remember the soundtrack for that game? Because it's very good.
No,
it's very good.
It's been a while. But
hey everybody, hey listeners, listen to the Luigi theme for Strikers. It's freaking amazing. And so is I forgot if it was Peach or Daisy. I'm thinking of one in particular. Both are great, but they're both weirdly freaking awesome.
Yeah. So moving on from that, I want to hear about your PS2 collection that you had amassed before you actually had a PS2, because I know you have been collecting not even just several titles. I think it was many.
I actually don't remember how many PS2 games I got before.
You probably had at least 10. I have to imagine.
I don't know if it was that far. I definitely bought a few games.
It was up
there.
there.
A PS2, but when I actually bought a PS2, it was Luminaire's
prime time to buy
one that he didn't need anymore.
Yeah,
because he had gotten a replacement for it. So he's I don't need this one. So he sold me a PS2 and a controller. I forgot if it came with a memory card. It might have. And Guilty Gear Accent Core.
Okay.
All that for $60. It's just whatever. So that was
nice.
An amazing deal. I later traded in the PS2 because it was a fat model and I wanted a slim.
Sure.
And I've had that slim ever since. It's been amazing. But Here's a winner for you. And I wasn't even getting these because I was afraid they would go away. I was getting them because I had seen them, and I was like, oh, I'll keep a lookout for them then.
Yeah.
That's how I got a lot of
You'll
my
get them
games.
as you come across them, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I got a lot of my games. Like, you showed me something, or Mr. Ryu showed me something. Oh, cool. If I see it, I'll pick it up. So, man, oh man. My first ever PS2 game purchase, this was definitely before I had the system. I bought 2 games at the same time. Do you have any idea what they were?
They're probably either probably a horror title. I can't imagine it wasn't.
I'll let you have that one.
Okay. Was
okay,
it Siren? Maybe.
No, actually, although I did find that one later.
Okay, Silent Hill 2.
It took me a while to get Silent Hill 2, because here's
Oh,
a
okay.
fun fact. My first Silent Hill experience, I got it in FYE in my local mall. As a matter of fact, I got these 2 Silent Hill games. I got these 2 PS2 games in the same store. But I got Silent Hill 2 and 3 PC for $5 each.
Oh, wow.
Which is like, what a deal. Jesus Christ. Like, I paid more for Silent Hill 4. Like, that's impossible.
Crazy.
But no, my first 2 PS2 games are some real winners. One of them was shown to me by our friend Perry in high school. This was when I was kind of bitter about not having a PS2, because I was like, look at all these games they have. Because at one point in high school, he had come over and he showed me God Hand. And I was like, "This game's fucking sweet." So
it was that late in the time span of the console. Jeez.
Oh, dude, no. I got a PS2 like a couple years into the PS3's life cycle.
Yeah, I was just gonna
like,
say
the entire GameStop stock of PS2 games, except for like the Fatal Frame trilogy, was like $20 or less. Like every PS2 game I bought was $20 or less. You want to hear some of the deals I've gotten? You'll make you fucking cry. but so one of them was God Hand, which. Like, it's, like, weirdly expensive now. I think it's probably still on PS2, PSN. If we're lucky, maybe even... sorry. PS3,
it's on PS4. It's on PS4.
It is on PS4?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
PS4,
good.
PSN, yep.
Okay, because I was going to say it was PS3's first ever PS2 title, I believe. If it's on PS4, so much the better.
Pretty sure it's on PS4, yeah.
Yeah, if not, it should be. It's a great game, and it's a PS2 title. PS4 does PS2 stuff. So I got God Hands, which the actual PS2 copy is getting expensive now. But the other game I got, fucking Rule of Rose for $25. What's funny is I actually saw 2 copies of it on the shelf. Not that I could have known, but if only I'd snatched them both up. One of them was new, one of them was used. And Rule of Rose was
no,
released...
it's only on PS3. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Lame. But Rule of Rose was released late enough that... You know the little card that comes in the back of the case where it's like, write into the magazine and let us know what systems you own. The PS3 is included on that checklist. So yeah, Rule of Rose was tied for my first ever PS2 game. And the funny thing was, I'd
two
only
bangers.
heard of... I'm sorry?
I said 2 bangers. Well, Rule of Rose isn't exactly a banger, but it is a sought after
but
game.
it's like the low-key holy grail of the system, though. Like,
yeah, sure.
Go find that game now. But what's funny is that I was introduced to that game through a friend of mine in 2008. Like, we met up for the first time. This person lives in Scotland. So, again, little did I realize, as stupid rare as it is in the US, I didn't realize the copy that I was seeing was fucking banned in the country it was sold in. She has an even rarer copy because the UK post-release, like, straight up banned Rule of Rose based on bullshit propaganda. For anyone who doesn't know, the US government got on Night Trap's case for a bunch of bullshit. Rule of Rose, unlike Night Trap, is not completely innocent, but it was also piled on for basically a bunch of bullshit. But yeah, so like, as rare as my game is, my experience was with an even rarer copy of the game. I had
awesome.
No idea. But I was like, oh, how interesting. I like weird, fucked up horror stuff. I'll keep a lookout for it. And then relatively shortly after I came back to the States, the store has a copy. And then I never saw it again. Like, I think I've seen it at a convention once or twice in my life. Like, it was gone. But
it has ceased to be.
Ceased to be. A couple of other games that I was able to pick up because, like, Mr. Ryu or you showed them to me. Mr. Ryu showed me Fatal Frame 3. I didn't even know it was
that's a good one.
Fatal Frame 3.
Good one to pick
1
up.
and 2 were obvious. I didn't even know 3 was a thing. So I was able to pick... The Fatal Frame games were like $40. Those are the ones that didn't go down in price. But probably my favorite. This is also going to make people mad. And again, I don't know if I got it before the system or not, but like I was a kid in a candy store in the PS2 era because they couldn't give this shit away. Like, Echo Knight was like $12, but I actually picked up Kuon for $12 because
that game's expensive too.
I think that might be the most expensive PS2 game.
Really?
It's a FromSoft and it's a horror title.
And it's not even
that great.
I need to look that up.
It's like Michigan Report from Hell. Like, do you really want to play that? but it's expensive because it's rare. But you showed me Kuon, I believe, and again I was like, oh, if I see it, and then I went to like a Game Crazy. Oh, there it is, got it. That's the end of that.
Man, this game is going for a lot.
Yeah,
jeez.
I got Haunting Ground for like between $10 and $20. Like, there's just so much shit that's like Silent Hill Shattered Memories. I got for relatively little because oh, we don't like this game because it isn't very popular. But then people are like, oh, wait, I don't care how bad it is. It's rare. That means I want it. So now the price is spiked. It's ridiculous. So again, same goes with Michigan. That was a budget title at the time. And it's not even good. But it's rare. And it's Suda51. I gotta have it. And that's actually the reason I got Michigan, is it's Suda51. So I was like, oh, a game that's not in my country, I better import it. And I actually got a legitimate English copy. And I can't find those anymore.
Wow. I need to see how much... completed items. Let me see here.
Yeah.
Wow, somebody bought this game. Jeez, this is going for like $600. Man, yep. I have this game. I am selling this.
Yeah, I thought Rule of Rose was the most expensive game. It is not.
No,
it's close, but it's not.
Kuon. Wow.
and again, whoever buys Kuon, like, try playing it.
I own this. So I was the one who showed it to you. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. You came.
I have it in a game binder. Like, not even in the case.
Yeah, you came over with your binder of, I said CDs, but CDs and DVDs. And you're like, here's a weird horror game. It was the same thing with Martian Gothic. You were like, look, I mean, that game's not expensive.
Nah,
today,
that's a super cheap game.
I got it for $4. So I was like, I found a copy.
People are buying this for $600. Jeez.
Yeah,
man.
they're not putting it up for $600. They are selling it.
No, this is these are completed items.
Yep. And look at Michigan as well. It's fucking bananas. I got mine for like
can't wait. I'm gonna sell this.
Pounds because I had to import it. But as for system sellers, I actually don't remember for the PS3 because I don't even know if I bought any PS3 games before I got the actual system. But again,
didn't you buy Alone in the Dark relatively early? Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark for PS3.
Well, there's a fucking buyer's remorse right there.
No, the Wii one's the bad one. The PS3 one's not bad.
All right, fair enough. Because I only played the Wii version, and oh boy,
a completely different game.
Okay, all right, because that's kind of legendarily bad. I think I might have mentioned this before, but I rage quit playing once the walkthrough ran out. Like, the walkthrough was incomplete. And I was like, I'm not fucking playing this until this updates. And I checked like months later. There were 2 walkthroughs for the game, and at the time, I don't know about today, but neither was complete. It's like, really?
Yeah.
But as for, again, I didn't buy these before the system sold, but the closest I've ever come to a game selling a system for me would probably be Fatal Frame 5 on the Wii U, because it's still trapped on the Wii U, but
funny in itself.
Yeah, because like the Wii U has a bunch of games that have been ported to other stuff or were already on other stuff, and I don't know, but like Fatal Frame with the tablet, like that, like Fatal Frame's been begging for that. Like, same goes for Spirit Camera on 3DS. Like, oh my god, why have we? What a genius idea, right? So like, Fatal Frame, again, I did not buy the Wii U specifically for that game because I don't buy the Wii U specifically for any game, but like, or any system specifically for a game. But that's the tempter right there. That's the one that like has come the closest to getting me to get a system, like a Fatal Frame game on the Wii U. You must be kidding. It's just like the upcoming Pokemon Snap on the Switch. Like, oh my god, I've been waiting for like 7 years or however many years.
So my answers for a lot of Nintendo systems is pretty boring because I like my impetus for buying most Nintendo systems is just the release of the console. I usually buy it at launch.
Oh
So
yeah, because with that, there's really no question. The Wii U was like a
yeah,
weird exception, but like, gee, I wonder if there are going to be good games on a Nintendo
of
console.
course.
Like, I mean, even the Wii U had a bunch of great games. It's just the system itself kind of bombed.
Yeah, so like for instance, after the GameCube era, well before that I had bought the Game Boy Advance
Okay, yeah.
near probably the launch when it came out, and I I bought it because I had to. It had the Metroidvania successor on it. I bought it for Circle of the Moon at the time,
Oh, okay.
and Super Mario Advance, which is the updated version of Mario 2.
Oh,
So
that was the one with the voice samples.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
Birdo was like, "This is as far as you get." I remember seeing that in the lunchroom in high school. It's like, what?
Yeah, yeah. So let
Or
me
maybe
let
even
me
middle
see here.
school.
I when I bought a PS2, I bought it maybe about 3 or 4 months after launch, and it was still really hard to get one because they were so popular as DVD players. But
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not a whole hell of a lot had come out for the system that was worth it. But I ended up getting I ended up getting Armored Core 2 at the time, and it was too hard for me, and I didn't know how to play it well. So
That's a lot of the FromSoft games. Is like Demon Souls is so hard. Like, well, yeah, it is, but it's harder because they don't explain
they
to you
don't explain it.
like
Yeah,
World's Tendency is one of the 5 things on the menu, and it's never explained.
I didn't understand the concept of weight,
You keep
which is
dying, and the game keeps getting harder, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
I didn't understand that the fact that your core becomes more cumbersome
Yeah,
if it
yeah.
has
The
if it has
concept
weight.
of weight in these games, which was introduced in what
Also,
did you say, Armored Core 1?
yeah,
And like I first experienced it in Shadow Tower.
yeah. I mean, it.
Well, I
This
should
is a
say I
big
first
thing.
experienced it in Demon Souls, but
Yeah, I
like
was just gonna
the
say this is
first
a big
time.
thing in Demon Souls. So,
Yeah, I
um,
first experienced it in Demon Souls, but like of the FromSoft games I've played, the earliest was Shadow Tower. But I think you told me a while back that Armored Core 1 was still earlier.
yeah. So like Armored Core 2 was lost on me at the time, so I didn't really like it. Nowadays I would probably have a lot more tolerance for it, and
Yeah, there's a certain art and like even fun to just the customization.
exactly,
Like, how can I best get this mech to work and look
and
good?
look cool. Yeah. So I ended up playing a lot of Symphony of the Night on my PS2 right when it first came out, and watching movies, of course.
Oh, you played the PS1 game on the PS2 because you could.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's another great concept. Backwards compatibility. That was insane.
moving on from that, I also got an N64 for Christmas one year, and I really I got Ocarina of Time for that because that's what I really wanted, and that was when it came out, and the system also came with 007 GoldenEye. So
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
I don't
fantastic
remember
stuff.
what like my family has never owned Mario 64. Like my brother borrowed it. I actually don't remember what our system came with. Maybe it was GoldenEye. Like I
Yeah.
don't remember.
At the time, they had bought it at like a Sam's Club, like a big box store that bundled it with
Oh yeah, we've had one of
with
those around me a while back.
with
Yeah.
GoldenEye. Yeah. So let me see what the other consoles in my
I
repertoire
remember
here.
I was interested in getting Ocarina of Time after a friend of mine showed me his, and
Hmm.
I wasn't aware at the time of the differences between the gold and the gray cartridges. Like I knew that there was a gold cartridge, like it's a special if you pre-order it or whatever, but like I didn't know there was actual differences. So when I beat the game and like Ganondorf is coughing up blood, it's green, and I was like, I remember this differently.
Yeah. Let me see here. For the PS3.
Yeah, I don't think I pre-bought anything. I think like Luminaire convinced me like today's the day. We're like because I always wait. I don't like going out and making big steps. So one day he just straight up took me shopping. Like we're getting a fucking PS3. So like at that point I picked up some games. Like I got Virtua Fighter 5 for like I think it was $5 because the PS3 had been out for a while. It's just like We're doing this. Let's go.
I think the big impetus was I think I bought this before I bought PS3. I bought Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, well, that was actually my big decision between the PS3 and the 360. Like, I was slightly biased toward the PlayStation because I had a PlayStation 2 by this point, but I didn't really, like, I wasn't a PS3 fanboy or a 360 fanboy. Basically, what went through my head was, what would you rather play? Metal Gear Solid 4, when you have played 1 through 3, or Halo 3, when you've never played a Halo game. I was like, PS3.
Well, I was able to buy a used special edition copy of Metal Gear Solid 4, and I had the opportunity.
I've seen that at your place,
and it's a nice special edition.
It is
that time. So, and I think I was working at GameStop at the time, and so it was a big deal for me. Also, for 360, what really made me want to buy the system is I was waiting for... a lot of people don't remember this, but when the Xbox 360 came out, it did not have a digital out. It was analog only, so
up to like component only, I guess.
You could do component or VGA if you wanted really high quality.
The 360 had VGA. That's wild.
360 had VGA.
Wow.
And I was like, at some point, they're going to come out with an HDMI version. They called it like the Extreme, I think, at the time.
Sure.
And the black one, the black 360 is what I waited for, and it did come out, and I was really chomping at the bit because you know what had just come out right before that?
The HD DVD attachment.
I was excited, but less excited.
I
wanted to play Dragon's Lair
podcast a bunch of times, but I do want to point out to the listeners that yes, there really is an actual HD DVD attachment that you can buy for the 360.
We'll talk about a dev format, Jesus Christ!
Oh man,
it's even it failed even worse than the UMD.
People wanted PSPs, and that's what they played, so there it is.
But yeah, I bought it for BioShock because BioShock had come out, and that was a big deal.
That's a real
to me.
Power hitter. I remember seeing trailers for that game and just being wowed. Like that looked so good.
And the first 360 Earth Defense Force is also what I got with it. So
yeah, I saw that at Mr.
really
Ryu's place a long time ago. It took me forever to realize that the PS3 got a version of that, but I eventually played 4.1 anyway, but I remember that game looked so good. It looks like stupid schlock, but that's the whole point. It looked so good to me. It
was the best game in the series for a while. In fact.
Yeah, it was.
It was really that one in particular is really really good.
Yeah. 4.1 is kind of just like a special version of that game.
And that reminds me, my OG Xbox. I asked for Christmas after I had bought the GameCube. And it was a good thing I did because it was the more expensive one. So, getting it for Christmas was like a strategic move.
Yeah.
But I got, of course, Halo with it. And that was a fantastic gift for me. It was just so good. And I right around that time, I bought Jet Set Radio Future and Max Payne 1. And all three were like defining classics. They were just so good. I loved those games at that time.
Oh, but by the way, if we're gonna go back to the original Xbox era, one thing I forgot about, because I didn't own a Dreamcast until like way later. Like I never owned it when it was the current gen system. But I remember a friend of mine had showed me Soul Calibur, and like that's what sold. I'm like, I at some point am gonna get a Dreamcast. Because like when Soul Calibur 2 came out and I realized it was for GameCube because it was for everything, I flipped. So like, I was super happy when I was finally able to get
you
a
didn't
Dreamcast
expect
for, like,
a fighting game
$40.
to come to the GameCube. You just didn't. It was like one of those things.
Yeah, just like the sequel to the Dreamcast game is on the GameCube. Oh my god. Like later I got a Dreamcast for like $40 or something, and I don't remember how much Soul Calibur was, but like I was like finally this is my big chance. To this day I don't really have that many Dreamcast games. I have like like under 10 or something. But like
I have
Calibur's
I have
definitely
the
one of
most
them.
expensive games for that system. I need to get rid of them. I need to
Yeah.
sell them.
Oh, by the way, not exactly the most expensive game. If anything, the least expensive game. Here's a good one. I don't remember what games I bought for PS4, because I think at some point I knew I'd be getting a PS4, but I cannot for the life of me remember what games I bought like before I got the system, I don't think, if anything.
Yeah.
Except for one. PT.
There you go.
Because I was able to buy it on PlayStation Network,
Sure.
because you could do that via PC, and then it got deleted.
Yeah, I got mine digitally too before I had a PS4. We both did it around the same time, I think. Probably.
Yeah, because the announcement came out that it would start getting delisted, so I bought it.
Yeah.
And then the announcement came out that said you wouldn't be able to access it from your library either, so I was like, fuck. But when I finally got a PS4 for Black Friday...
That proxy server.
that little workarounds came out. I'm like, I can actually play PT. Oh, man. So, like, the game is literally free, but that's to this day a big deal for a lot of people.
Oh, sure.
And also, by the way, every single Switch game I own, because I still don't have a Switch. So I have some funky stuff, like Fire Emblem Warriors Collector's Edition, or like Clannad, or Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive, stuff like that. Because like those games aren't going to be sticking around. But like, wait till I get a Switch. So I have some cool Switch stuff that I cannot yet play because I don't have a Switch. Every Switch game I own, I think I have like 15 games or something, and I don't have a Switch.
Wow. Let me see here. The Switch I bought on launch day, so I bought Bomberman R.
You got Zelda as well, right?
Zelda, of course, and what else did I buy? I bought 1-2 Switch because I'm a fool.
1-2 Switch is legit. Like you only play that.
It's
game,
fun.
Like you don't keep coming back to it. But it's very fun while it lasts.
Yeah, you know what? I might go back to it now just because it's not fresh anymore. Yeah, it's not fresh anymore. But we had a lot of fun with that actually. I remember playing that with the group.
Yeah, and I'm a sucker for it just because like this isn't how I'd normally describe it, but it's an FMV game. I'm just a sucker for FMV. I'm like, hey, you know what? Fine.
It's like goofy looks on people's faces and stuff like that.
Yeah. I just like it.
Yeah. No, in retrospect, you convinced me. It's plus I like Nintendo's like mini games, if that makes sense. Like I really love the little mini games that they make. Like anything like WarioWare,
oh my god,
or Rhythm Heaven, anything that involves like a mini game, I'm like all there.
Actually, by the way, here's another funny one. I did not get away with like the best deal ever for this. I still got a deal on it, but like I didn't get Kuon for fucking $12 deal on this, but I can point out another game that I got that's like the holy grail of the system that I got before actually owning the system.
There you go.
Because I believe you gifted the system itself to me after I bought the game. Snatcher.
There you go.
The retro game store near me had Snatcher for like $300, I think, and I was like, I'm not doing that. But at one point on their Facebook page, they had made an update because the store, this is the store that's now closed. It had been in financial straits for a while. This was before it moved to its second location. But they made a post about how they need to pay the bills. They're taking some of their most expensive games in their cases, and they're giving discounts to them. So they had, like, the American release of Cotton on the TurboGrafx and stuff like that. I remember you saw that at one point.
Sure.
But one of the games was Snatcher. And unfortunately, it does not have the insert. It's just a clear Sega CD case. But it had the case, the game in the manual, and they brought it down to $200. And on one hand, I still did not want to pay that much for it. But on the other hand, I knew
you knew what you were buying.
I'm never getting a better deal than this. Yeah, like it's now or never. So I bit the bullet on it.
And now it's $1,000 game, easy.
Yeah, my copy wouldn't be, but still.
You wouldn't have any problem selling it for
I could sell it to somebody. Yeah.
Decent bit of coin.
Yeah.
I could.
There's a little bit of writing in the manual as well, but whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
It's not just scribbles either. It was somebody was actually taking notes in the notes section, which is the first time anyone's done it for any game ever. It was about when you're trying to identify the profile of somebody with the facial features.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like that's the one part of the game that you would take notes for.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, we should move on to fan stuff because we've ruminated long enough. But I think we may even have more content for another episode at some point because I have more systems that I haven't touched yet. So
Oh, there we go. There we go.
yeah.
Yeah, my other systems, like I bought games for them after I got the system because in my mind that's just how it worked. Also, I was a kid, so I wasn't making those decisions for myself anyway.
Sure.
But okay, we can go over to comments. So School Filmer said GameStop. That's where I found the Jibanyan and Komasan plushies. I don't know what those are.
Yeah, me either.
Surprisingly, they didn't seem to mind me digging deep into the plushie box to find them, and luckily there's a cardboard box nearby that I could put the others in, and I did put them back after I found out about the plushies I was looking for. Not quite related to the story in question, but a fun story, like an employee having a Pokemon battle with a customer. That is kind of funny.
Oh, this is Yokai Watch thing.
Oh, there we go.
Yokai Watch.
Anyway, I started True Vault Hunter mode in pre-sequel, and the final boss of the Claptastic Voyage DLC was quite frustrating. Hiding to restore its shields back to full twice after taking down a fourth and a half of its health, this crap flying everywhere, enemies to hopefully get a second win from. It was absolute pandemonium, even with the glitched rarity Jacob's weapon I found earlier. Still a fun game, though. I think it's interesting to see where everything connects story-wise in the Borderlands games.
There you go.
Baka-sensei has a few things to say. Regarding the game stunk, like that we talked about last week, as far as I could search...
I love that it's officially called that, basically.
Yeah,
the game stonks incident.
Stonks. So,
that's going to be in
search,
financial textbooks in like 20 years.
Oh, yeah. And thanks to the guys of the internet today, this started as a middle finger to Citron Research, who was making fun of people who keep on buying GameStop stocks. And they even were going to release a statement on why it's so bad on this date. On the other side, a person from Citron also was making money on short selling, and apparently he was the one with the most stakes on GameStop short selling. And then he's defining it here, borrowing actions to sell at a higher price while they repurchase them at a lower price and then give them back. It seems that he was also making sure the stock would keep on depreciating the value on Robinhood. It seems some people were falsely accusing of selling stocks was just a feature of the app to sell at a specific price automatically, and after the buying restrictions were done. Also, it feels unfair that only they were affected on this because the big firms still had no limitations, and even they saved the guy by basically giving the amount of money he needed to pay for the stocks. And now that the government will look into this and asking how legal this was, it seems the rich people will not be the only ones that can play to be rich. A good example, think of this, is I could think of is the scalpers making bots to buy everything and selling at double price equals profit. Doesn't look good for Sony and Microsoft, but they're selling, and that's all they need. And those who want to get the new hardware got to pay the price.
Still don't have a PS5, even though I have to go ahead. I have to go ahead to get a PS5. I just can't find one.
Yeah, no kidding. And then he has two more comments. Lastly, I remember that the arcade machines in Japan actually use real cars to play. One's for Dragon Ball Universe and a Gundam one that'll be discontinued soon. Yeah, I mean, I myself have a Konami card if I ever go back to round one and want to play, like, Silent Hill, the arcade game.
Sure.
Like, it saves your data. It's crazy. And the cards are especially useful for those music games, like the DDR stuff.
Yeah, there's a Konami one. There's a Nazca one, like for Bandai Namco games, and there's one for Square Enix games.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then
Square
one more.
Enix Taito. Yeah.
Yes. For me, Xenogears was like Evangelion the RPG. It was good. It was perfect at the time, or like Gundam, a Chrono Trigger game, and had a few anime cutscenes. I won't hype it more. However, the Xenosaga games didn't connect with me. I heard Xenoblade was good. I think it's not related. Maybe I'll try it someday. And about Robert Rodriguez, I think he'd make a better Monster Hunter movie instead of what we have.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think most people would.
Yeah, but Robert Rodriguez, like, he's really good at schlock. He's
well, that's
really
the thing.
Good
and, well... Baka-sensei goes on to say he's good with big and small budgets. To think that James Cameron entrusted him with the Passion Project. Yeah.
That's true.
And then Dracologist says, yeah, this was my fault. Warhammer 40k was before Event Horizon.
Oh.
I bet. Yeah, because I think I said something like, oh, I might have inspired Warhammer. No. I should have known this because Warhammer is where Space Marine came from. And Space Marine was in Doom, and Doom was like 1993. So Warhammer is older than that.
Yeah.
All right, and then the question... this is from Sabrina Hengel. What are things that you cannot do when you are stressed or overworked? For example, I cannot listen to calm music or play open world games. Although some people might find roaming around in those types of games calming, traveling around a huge map with my sense of direction just really burns me out, and in the end I always feel like I didn't get anything done. And as for the music, weirdly enough, calm music just makes me feel more irritated when I'm stressed already. Yeah, I kind of get that. Like, this isn't quite the same thing, and this is unfair. It's just a personality quirk of mine. But if something really bad happens to me and I'm bummed out, like when someone tries to empathize by going, that sucks. I'm like, yeah, I fucking know. You know,
they're trying to offer sympathy.
No, of course they are. Like, I know. That's why I said it's unfair. Like, I mean, like, I get it, but it just kind of, like, I don't need to be told that whatever bad thing happened to me was bad. And I know it's irrational on my part, but that's just how I feel about it. So gotcha. I get it. With the calm music makes it worse, because it sounds like, try to calm down. It's like, I am trying. That's why I fucking played you. So, like, I get it. I get it. But things you can't do when you're stressed or overworked, yeah, I mean, related to playing video games or whatever, like, yeah, there are probably certain types I couldn't play. Like, warrior stuff I probably could play, because you mash square to kill shit. But, like, stuff I have to concentrate on, I would probably have more of a problem.
Gotcha. I would say reading is something that I can't do unless I'm relaxed.
That's right
like,
up there.
For pleasure.
Yeah, because you're at the end of the page and you're like, oh wait, I didn't actually read anything. I just want to feel that I'm reading.
Yeah, especially like novels and things like that. Yeah. So if I'm all worked up, I can't pay attention to what I'm reading. And I can't get that sense of like creating that world in my head based off of the words on the page.
Yeah.
That's really integral for my enjoyment of a book, for instance. So I think that's really the main thing. Even watching a movie, I tend to be a very active watcher of movies.
Again with the concentration. Yeah.
Yeah, I find it very. I was a film minor. I would have been a dual major if I could have been, if there was a major for it at our college. Mm-hmm. But like I have to like dive into the movie if I'm watching it. I can't just have it on in the background unless it's something I don't care about or I've already seen a billion times. So I actually have that problem.
I remember that the new Doom movie, I think it was called Annihilation.
Yeah.
Somehow you were not completely engrossed in that one.
Well, I mean, like, we knew what we were getting into. we knew what we were getting into with that. But like I have a hard time with that because there are some series that I really want to plow through and watch finally. But I say to myself, hey, I work from home now because of the pandemic, so I always have something on in the background. It's usually YouTube because I don't have to pay complete attention to it.
Yeah,
but like,
it's not a big movie that you're like, I need to find out what's going on in this Nolan mystery movie or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't watch like Tenet, like
the Prestige.
Yeah, exactly. Something with like where you have to pay attention, extreme attention.
Yeah, Shutter Island.
So like I'll put on I actually have been watching Freaks and Geeks, and that doesn't have a super tight continuity, but it does tell a story over time. But I've been really enjoying watching it that way. But
sure,
that's a really iconic series because it started off so many people's careers.
Yeah. My background stuff is probably like Red Letter Media episodes.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Some of that stuff is very replayable.
Yeah, and a lot of their videos are pretty long, so that it takes up some time.
Yeah, their best of the worst episodes like may as well be a podcast.
Yeah, they're about an hour usually, or 45
Like, I love
minutes.
watching the clips, but like if you've seen it before, then just go. You're good.
Yeah, and some of those movies I like to be reminded of, so it's cool to kind of like go back and watch. But
yeah, I always rewatch their video of The Instructor, that martial arts karate guy. Something about, I don't know what it is, but something about that movie and the way they talk about it, like,
it's really funny.
Don't tire of it. Yeah.
Is that the one where they filmed it over a long period of time, something like that? It was like 3 years or something.
It was
like
something
that.
where they filmed some like pickup shots like in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Way later where the guy had a wig on or something.
Yeah,
That wasn't the focus
I
of the
saw that
movie,
one
but-
recently. Yeah, I saw that one recently.
Yeah, like
yeah.
something about that final chase scene where it just keeps going and they're fighting in the woods and then they inexplicably have a chainsaw. You're like, whoa, this movie, what are you
Just,
doing?
like, shows up. No, like, I have this problem because, like, I have so much of a backlog that I'm like, okay, well, I should have this on in the background while I'm doing this thing while I'm at home, like laundry or something, and then I'm like, no, I can't do that because I have to pay attention to it.
Yeah, well,
like Twin
honestly,
Peaks, for instance, you have to devote all of your attention to Twin Peaks season 3. There's no question. Like,
and actually, for me in particular, it would be like Let's Playing, because the way I do it is, number one, I talk like this.
Sure.
Like I have this low key attitude for the most part, and also I try to like look at the game's lore and be comprehensive. If I'm super stressed, that's not gonna go so well. And the question says stressed/overworked. If I'm overworked, then I'm gonna do one of two things: focus on the work, or cool off. That's what I was saying. If I'm angry and people go, "Oh man, sucks to be you," I mean, they're not gonna say "sucks to be you," but like,
sure.
Like I just need to sit by myself and seethe for a while, and I know that like I'm being the asshole, but like I just need to cool off. That's it's not so much that people are trying to empathize with me. It's just like one of my biggest things like in my life is that I don't like to be like disturbed when I'm doing something or if I'm concentrating on something. That's one of those reasons.
Mom!
Yeah, Mom! Leave me alone. I'm playing a video game. I want to beat Shadow the Hedgehog.
My legions of fans, they're waiting!
My loyal fans. But like, one thing I've mentioned off the air repeatedly, but people have almost certainly heard it in the podcast anyway, every so often, like once per podcast, you might hear a little bit of chimes in the background.
I always pick on you for this because
clock.
it annoys you so badly, and it's such a minor thing.
Well, it's not that it annoys me so badly, like that fucking clock, but it's really more of just like I wanted quiet and now I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, like also just like the phone ringing. Like you know what, like when I'm living with my parents and there's a landline, 100% of people who call the phone and want to talk to me do it on my cell phone. If the phone rings, if the landline rings, guaranteed it is not for me. So it's just noise. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Even though there are people who might.
And I'm one of the few people that
expecting a call. And it's usually spam, to be fair, so it's annoying for everybody.
I'm one of the few people that does call you on your cell too. So you know.
Well, yeah. If my phone ever continually vibrates, number one, it's not ringing to the whole fucking house. Number two, it's probably you.
Yeah.
Or spam. Nobody calls.
We have just such good conversations over the phone. So like, that's part of the reason why we do the podcast. Is
we had a good conversation.
It's just fun. I sometimes call you when I'm in the car, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'll call Lotus.
But speaking of which, this is something that we brought up, or that I brought up, I think years ago at this point in the podcast. I actually don't know what your state's law is. It was probably the same as New Jersey's because you're no longer in New Jersey. But if he's in the car and he's using Bluetooth, that is perfectly legal.
Oh, I do that, yeah.
Because New Jersey has a hard ban on cell phone use in the car unless it's hands free.
Yeah.
But if you have the Bluetooth hooked up and you're just using like the car radio to do the communication or the speakers or whatever, then that's cool.
Yeah, my car is completely hands-free.
Don't be holding a phone when you're driving.
No, I don't do that. I pay attention while I'm driving, but no, like sometimes I'll be.
What I'm saying is like it's unsafe everywhere, but in New Jersey, it's actually against the law.
Well, what's kind of funny is like. There have been times in which, like, we live roughly about an hour to hour and 15 away from each other.
Yeah, hour 10 the only time I've ever come to your new place.
Well, but like, generally speaking, almost our entire, friendship, we've lived about that far away from each other.
Oh yeah, the range has been like mid 50s to now, to like an hour and 10.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Remember when you were a nice close 55 minutes away?
Yeah, that was when I was at my apartment. That was the closest, I think.
No,
But
even then, your parents. I think like every single time you move, you get like
a little further,
3 or 4 minutes farther away. It's like, son of a bitch.
But yeah, what I was gonna say is like there have been times when I call you when I'm on my way to get to your place, and then we don't stop talking until I'm in your driveway.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
we've done that. And you'd think that we wouldn't have anything else to talk about, but we do.
Yeah, which is funny because I'm the classic like teenager. When my parents talk to me, like I don't have anything to talk about. How was your day? Good.
Good.
All right.
Are you gonna wash your hands? No.
No, because I'm evil. I fucking love that.
I have no
Aren't
idea
you gonna give us a signal?
I have no idea
Go.
who I am. I have no idea who I am.
I have no idea who this is. That was so good.
We're referring to the Justice League Unlimited series.
Yeah, what was it called? The Great Brain Robbery?
Yeah,
where Flash
Lex
and Lex
Luthor,
Luthor
yeah.
switch brains. So Flash is in Luthor's body being stupid, and Luthor's in Flash's body. And it's great because both of them, the Flash is in the Legion of Doom's headquarters, and Luthor is in the Justice League's headquarters, so they're both like, oh, fuck. I am completely surrounded by superpowered enemies. And Flash, as Luthor, doesn't even have superpowers. Luthor at least has Flash speed, but he's like, I can't take on, like, 30 superheroes. There's no way.
I mean, you can't take on Superman as it is. I mean,
Yeah, get out. I mean, Luthor's whole plan as Flash was to, like, attempt to run away. He's like, I don't know how to navigate the Justice League watchtower. What do you want from me?
But that has easily some of the funniest moments in the entire series.
You know what I really liked was when he got to the kitchen and is just speedily throwing all sorts of silverware and stuff at people, and the Green Lantern puts up a shield.
Oh, I love it.
And then the banana pudding like struggles and gets through and catches him in the face. Like, ah! That was fantastic.
The banana pudding is like, mwah.
That was
like,
perfect.
It's yellow.
Yeah, like it struggles a little bit and then comes through like, ah, damn it. That was amazing.
But I just love the concept of, I finally know Flash's secret identity. He just looks at him because look, Flash isn't a famous person. He's just a
He's some
policeman.
Scientist that like the public doesn't see.
A forensic scientist for the police department.
Yeah,
so
I have
like,
no idea who this guy is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And the funny thing is, Luthor probably would know a lot of the police, but the forensics team, why? What was also good is the Flash had the same situation. Like, well, I found out, like, well, you were in the Legion of Doom. Where's the Legion of Doom headquarters? I don't know, a swamp?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, like, you would know who Bruce Wayne is, and you wouldn't know who Clark Kent is, but, like, most of the other people are not prominent that are superheroes.
Speaking of which, one thing I really enjoyed was the Lego Batman 2 game, where, because, Clancy Brown...
They're basically Justice League games, too. I mean,
they basically are.
Yeah.
But what was really great, though, was the game opens with the Man of the Year contest between Bruce Wayne and Luthor, and Wayne wins, and Luthor's like, polite handshake, but like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's like later on, he teams up with the Joker to attack the Batcave, and he doesn't know who the superheroes' identities are, but at one point they're flying on like the Joker helicopter over the Wayne Manor, and Luthor's looking down on it, and he's just like, I really hate that guy. It just cracked me up. Just completely unrelated to what they're doing, even though ironically he's the guy they're after without knowing it. But I just love that. Like, fucking Bruce Wayne, man. I don't want to kill him because he's not like an enemy, but just kind of pisses me off.
I love the public persona of Dick Bruce Wayne, like in The Dark Knight. Like it's just like,
yeah,
like he hardly ever shows up as Dick Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that is true. Actually,
yeah,
it's very uncommon.
Like he's usually, like the prototypical version of like Bruce Wayne is the Kevin Conroy, like nice guy,
yeah,
like
straight man, or like Michael Keaton,
or
well, any of the movies really. Like until Nolan, he's a pretty straight man.
Yeah,
but yeah, Nolan. To be
philanthropist, fair, usually,
Yeah, to be fair, like he was kind of a playboy in Batman Begins, but he turned on the dick personality, like, to evacuate his manor when the Shadow Legions were going to attack it. But then he became a dick, like, for real in the sequels.
So good.
And like a recluse, yeah.
All right. Well, we do have to move on here.
Yes.
We have explored the topic, and now we're just going on in all kinds of directions.
Yeah.
But that
Talk
is
about Lego Batman 2.
Yeah, that is the show for this week. We want to thank our fans who contributed questions and comments. This was a good question. It was good to contemplate.
Yeah, it's very real.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sitting there trying to read H.P. Lovecraft, and I have no idea what I read 3 times over.
So maybe he had the perfect effect on you. Maybe you're going mad and cannot comprehend what you've read.
I cannot even elucidate what maybe he's trying to bring to page here.
I really hate fish people for some reason.
Please keep us supplied with awesome topics by submitting questions of your own via the YouTube and Soundcloud pages. While there, please give us thumbs ups, likes, and 5-star ratings on iTunes. Helps promote and spread awareness of the show, and any bit of encouragement helps keep the show going. You can also catch us on Tuesday for our sister podcast, Corrective Consciousness, the in-depth look at this week in our lives. Plenty of Stadia news, I'm sure, in the future.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about how we're still not buying games on the Stadia.
Finally, you can friend me as vysethebold on pretty much everything.
And you could follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you are interested in seeing my videos early, like Raw Danger, selecting upcoming games for me to Let's Play, like Raw Danger, and I'm doing this out of
like
order,
Urkel.
so getting it like Urkel. And I'm doing this out of order, so getting in on exclusive live streams like Mortal Shell. There, nailed it, saved it. Or getting in conversations with me and other patrons on Discord, then perhaps consider swinging by my Patreon account, which can be found at patreon.com/LotusPrince.
And worth every penny, I might add. Well, we will have to talk to you on Tuesday then. We'll catch you then for another episode of Reactive.
Until next time, everyone.
Bye-bye.